Recalibration of the human being. Greetings, dear ones. It seems like only a moment ago I told you about the changes that are about to come in this room, and I can already feel them. Compassion is a quality of those who are on this side of the veil. However, there are always questions. Someone asks, "How do I know who is visiting me? I am afraid of both this and that, and when I am connected in the process of channeling and when I open my mouth, I do not know what will happen next. Do I not allow all the energies of the universe to penetrate at this moment?" And we tell you that it is a three-dimensional way of thinking that the angels around you could allow this to happen at any time. If it is the energies of compassion, then it is from God. If not, then it is from you. It's that simple. Do not draw in your imagination many dark energies, just waiting to pounce on you, for this is human self-suggestion. You have so humanized God that you don't even understand when the Spirit takes you by the hand. Let that change today. Know that wherever you go, you can call it whatever you want, but there is something next to you. It is so difficult for me to explain the fragmentation of the soul to you because it sounds like a negative concept, but it is beautiful. There are always three of you all the time, wherever you go. Oh, actually even more, but three represent the main group. One of them is the higher self, which is your core. How can I explain the higher self? It is the core, it is you. It is the part of you that vibrates higher. It is not above you, but rather in you, and this higher vibrating you opens a portal that is literally a connection and a handshake of the Spirit. And that's you. That's number one. There is also the conscious mind representing the biological you. There are already two parts of you. How many do you need for a group? Do you understand? There is also the concept of the quantum you, of what you simply have, of what you simply received, including the field around you, 8 meters wide. The human being is amazing. The other large part is the part of you that remains on my side of the veil, and which you completely deny. You feel it as a mentor or helper to whom you are very attached. In fact, it is a constant part that connects you to God, always, wherever you are. 2012. I want to tell you about what is happening on the planet right now, and I want to give you in this first full channeling of 2012 what can be called the properties of the energy that is coming to you now. This energy is changing. Those who are present in this room and those who will be present in the room tomorrow, this is about those who will be in the Okanagan Valley, will receive the same message. This is one of the few such cases when I will repeat the message in one language. It needs to be repeated. Recordings of the message will be received, and many will hear it. After my explanation, old souls will learn more about the experience they are going through and understand more about the reason for it. This is given in love, and there is no subject for fear. You are in a safe place. The energy that is coming to this earth has been long awaited. The ancients predicted it, and we gave you the last channelings, and even the channeling in the country called Peru, about the shift that we called the movement of the feathered serpent, first presented in Book 8 of Kryon in 2000, Chapter 14, section, The Path of the Feathered Serpent. There is a real shift in polarity between the masculine and feminine energies of our planet. In the Northern Hemisphere, which has always been strongly masculine, changes are taking place. In the Southern Hemisphere, which has not been predisposed like the Northern Hemisphere, changes are also taking place. The wisdom of the ancients from the Southern Hemisphere is beginning to replace the wisdom of the ancients from the North, and you are beginning to notice how the human being is becoming softer. Old souls are spiritually alerted to this shift first and are beginning to accept biological changes. You expected this, and it is here. This is a process that is felt all over the planet. The unrest you are seeing right now in countries that have not seen unrest for hundreds of years is a result of this change, because this is what happens when people have more compassion, when they want to come together more than they want to divide, and when new thinking and wisdom begin to emerge. New improvement. This new consciousness is giving rise to new improvements, higher science, higher thinking, and solutions to so-called fundamental human problems. Great changes are coming in all of these areas: population explosion, food, water, energy. In the next 2 generations, new thinking, new solutions, and new discoveries will emerge, and some of them even in the next 18 years. However, the shift is happening, and I want to tell you about those who will feel it first. These are the ones present here, listening to my voice and reading these lines, who have been on this planet so many times that they are already used to the old energy. Old soul, you are starting to remember. You are starting to remember what it was like before and what it can be like again. Old soul, you are starting to rebalance, and this is a change in cellular structure in 3D. These energy shifts we are talking about are not a manifestation of any kind of New Age esoteric magic. On the contrary, you will see them clearly manifesting in governments and in science. You will see how energy all over the planet will start to shift in a direction that no one expected. Gradually. I've talked about this before. Gradually, those countries that have been isolated for many years will open their doors. You better observe the pictures of today, because it will never be like this again. Gradually, the rest of you will connect, and your children will meet with your children, and you will understand that you have something in common, not the attributes of low energies that have been talked about so much. Biological rebalancing. The rebalancing of the old soul is the subject of this and tomorrow's channeling. That is, the channelings will be similar, not a continuation of each other. There is no need for parts A and B. Today and tomorrow I will give you everything. I want you to know what you can expect and what some of you are already working with, and that is rebalancing. Your biology must shift. It must assimilate, work, and be part of a lighter energy. And for that to happen, there must be a rebalancing of the core, or energy center. Those who have studied the lattice, representing the ordered energies surrounding you, know about balance. You know about the balance of energies that a person needs in order to start changing himself. You know about the rejuvenation of the body, which is even mentioned today, about how cells divide and how each individual type of cell in your body, including the brain, heart, and skin, regenerates. They are capable of regeneration, and even if they are lost, they are capable of regeneration, and even if they are damaged, they are capable of regeneration. Sure, here is a translation of the Russian text to American English. This is happening because you are an old soul, and that is why you are here. You do not need to ask for it, but rebalancing is what you expected and what you remember. But it may not be quite what you expect. It's uncomfortable. Now, as we go through this message, some of you will recognize these attributes as we start to give them to you, attributes that I would call not very positive, and that some of you will experience in the process of rebalancing. Right now, it's just some of you, but not all. Each human being has its own unique path and therefore experiences its own experience. So the proposed list is not a general list of what will happen to all old souls. On the contrary, these are potentials, including many of the symptoms of rebalancing that old souls may experience, those who are here and ready to move forward on this planet. Listing. Some of you will have dizziness. This is an attribute of rebalancing. It's just that, and it will pass. But it will cause concern for those who experience dizziness and will also be disoriented to the point that it may even lead to falls. And what are you going to do with this new knowledge? Number 1. Know that your brain is not sick with some terrible disease. Number 2. Walk more carefully. Does that make sense? Now another thing. You will have anxious sleep, more anxious than usual. You will not wake up once but twice or even more. Those of you who have already felt these things know what is happening. This is rebalancing. The first question a person asks is, how long will this last? The answer, as long as it takes, my slowpoke. Kryon smiles. I think you get the idea. Rebalancing will continue for as long as it takes, and if you resist it, it will take longer. Much worse, if you start stuffing yourself with medications for it, it will just hold back what is happening, celebrate it, and move forward with it. Tell your cellular structure that you understand and are moving with it, not against it. This will speed up the process and make it go even faster. The biology of each individual person in this room is different from all others, and now we are starting a conversation about something we haven't talked about for a while, but you need to hear it. What works for your health is almost entirely and absolutely based on your akashic records. Where did you spend most of your incarnations? Maybe it was in Asia, maybe in India or Tibet, maybe it was in the Southern Hemisphere. Each of these places and cultures has its own different food that has worked to keep you balanced and healthy. But now, in this incarnation, you are here, in the Northern Hemisphere, and I want you to know that you are largely dependent on the diet you are used to in your past lives. Maybe you were a vegetarian, maybe you only ate grains. For this reason, your cells crave this diet to be balanced, understand? And there are those who came mainly from North America, from Europe, and who have never had a diet like the one in Asia or the South, and therefore they have no food problems at all in the country. Listen, there is no one-size-fits-all answer to the question, what should I eat for spiritual health? There is no should. Instead, there are reliable signals from your inner innate that let you know what is healthiest for your body. In other words, listen to your cells. Why did I mention this? Because you are going to get advice from people on what to eat to fix what is wrong with you as you go through rebalancing. And here's what I'm going to tell you right now, don't pay attention to them. Instead, look inside yourself and let your own akashic record tell you what will work for you. And don't be surprised if some of you develop allergies to some of the foods you've always eaten. I'll tell you, your biology is rebalancing. This is a necessary attribute for you to move forward, to move to a place where you can be balanced with the greatest wisdom. Many of you may not like some processed foods because you have no habit of them in your akashic records. Do you understand what I'm saying? If you are going to pull out of the depths of wisdom those shamanic energies that you have worked on and that you have come with again and again in your historical past, some things will come with them, such as your balanced diet, and you will have to deal with it. Don't resist it. You will not have to go through this again, ever. The Akashic record is much more than the genealogy of the human beings you come from, parents. You know that. The Akashic record represents the experiences you have had in all your incarnations, regardless of the genes of your parents. Sometimes these are the most dominant and most difficult things you have to deal with. Those present here listening to my voice are beginning to face these things. So here, and this is another thing, expect these most difficult things to come to the forefront for cleansing. Cleansing the past. Maybe you haven't studied your life lessons very well for the past few incarnations and feel like you could have done better. And you will, because the earth needs you, and there is no need to be filled with fear. On the contrary, you should say to yourself, I accept my rebalancing. No matter what is in my body at the moment, it can go away. If it is inappropriate, it can go away. I am on this planet as a particle of divinity, knowing, needed, and I belong here. This is my time. Cellular structure, listen. If there is anything inappropriate, let it go. Let it wash away with the waste. Let it go because it is not appropriate. It does not correspond to the energy of God's love. Let only the concepts of compassion enter my consciousness. Some of you may find it difficult to say this. Good news. Now let's take a look at what you can expect in terms of the physics of your body and what will not be so difficult. Number 1, you will get the ability to deal with even the worst habits you have ever had in your life and get rid of them very quickly. This is the new energy of cooperation with the Lightworker energy. Have you achieved this? But please give us a break and just take a moment to breathe deeply, for I am dealing with those who listen to my voice and read these lines, who have gone through thousands of years of persecution, torment, and suffering. There are those here who have been burned alive. This is because the energy that you brought to Earth did not at all coincide with the energy that Earth was experiencing at the time. Holy men and women were asked to heal someone for a moment and then to go to the edge of the village and jump off a cliff. Fear is his way. And here you are. I know you. You have returned. However, now this planet is beginning to move in such a way that everything you have brought to this planet with your Akashic experience will begin to cooperate with the new energy. Oh, take a deep breath, because the expanded manifestation of the new energy is beginning, not immediately, not today, not at this hour, but very gradually. These quantum clocks are starting to move in your direction. Earth is receiving a softer, more passionate energy. This is what you were born with. This is the tool that you have. In the past, this was seen as eccentricity and strangeness, and was considered a sign of weakness. You were ostracized. Some of you were banished by your family members. I know who is here. I am telling you that in this new energy, even they may look at you differently and see how you have begun to soften, and they themselves do not know who has changed. Things will not work the same way as before. Do you have a habit that you would like to break? For example, the way you think or the way you eat? or what you put into your body, or what you smoke. It's killing you and you know it? I know who I'm talking to, my dear. Do you want to change it? So this is what I'm talking about. What you do in this new energy will get a response in your body in a completely different way than it did when you tried to do it before. Listen, none of you can afford to say, old soul, knowing one, you cannot afford to say, I tried to do it, but it doesn't work. If so, these will be the words of a child who does not know how things work. Instead, you should say, this time I know more. I will manifest it because the body hears me. This is my time. The energy of cooperation and how to use it. This is what the new energy brings, cooperation. Everything will go better and flow more easily. Everything will move forward, not backward. When you have formulated an intention about what you want to have in your life and this process has begun, many of you will see positive results immediately. The key is synchronicity. Put yourselves in the places where it should manifest. Don't try to declare something and then hide and wait for it. Instead, put yourselves in the places where it should manifest as you expect it to. Do you understand? There will be answers, because there are others walking around who have the solutions to your questions. They are looking for you just as you are looking for them. Don't shut yourselves out. There is a tendency towards self-isolation in rebalancing mode because you are not feeling very well. Colds. The likelihood of catching a cold will increase. Why is that? But then you will heal from it faster. Why is that? A cold has always been a rebalancing of the biological process in humans. You need to get sick with a cold, and that's why you can't cure it. You have to go through it. Colds are a cyclical opportunity for the immune system to fix itself. Maybe you didn't know that. That's why you shouldn't use chemicals to treat colds. It's a rebalancing mechanism inside you. It develops the system in a certain way to help you, and it needs to be repeated. Don't be shocked when you catch another cold, but say, well, that's good. I didn't think it would happen because I just got over another cold. It's rebalancing. These are the concepts that we would like to get across to you so that you know what is happening and are not afraid of it. There is a lot of positive, which really represents the positive energy that is coming to the planet and bringing humanity to new possibilities. This is the energy that supports the light worker. You won't have to swim against the current anymore, dear ones. You are all so different now, and I know who you are. Active interest is the key. You can't accidentally do what I'm talking about, but you knew that, didn't you? When you actively show what you need in your life, the universe hears you. When you receive messages from me from the other side of the veil, I am telling you what you may already know. We have no clocks, so I am speaking to you in the now. I see the energy in the room and I see who is here. I see the old soul. I am speaking to you in the now, so it's up to you to decide what your clocks do and how much time it takes in your reality. In my reality, it's already done. Already accomplished, the strongest potentials become manifest reality. Can you take a look at it that way? Can you walk out of here with it already done in your mind? There is energy in this room right now pouring into the places where it needs to go. What to expect spiritually? What can you expect spiritually? Rebalancing affects what can happen on this planet in terms of health and happiness without drama or fear. This is what the old soul remembers, is the potential of this time. Pause. My partner earlier noted in his messages at the lecture that one of the greatest mysteries to him is why old souls have such deep self-esteem problems. He says with bewilderment that he cannot explain why this happens to old souls. I will tell you why. Because for hundreds of years, you have been treated cruelly. Every time you took 2 steps forward, you were forced to take 1 step back, and sometimes 5. Then when you came back to this life, what did you expect? Very little. Some of you, even at the very beginning, had their quiet inner voice tell them, oh yes, I knew this would happen. You don't expect much, do you? That's because in the old energy, whatever you did was met with resistance. That's it. Every time you wanted to make a positive suggestion about something that could help, you spoke into the void. Every time you saw spiritual wisdom in solving a complex problem, no one else saw it. They were not interested. Again and again you found yourself isolated. When things got hot, you looked for a solution. Most others got out their swords. We are telling you that this is changing now. It is in the spiritual sense that you must love yourself more, and now you have the opportunity to do so, because within you is a universe called the cellular structure, with trillions of DNA particles. These particles are beginning to react and become ready to receive your instructions. You could say that the hands of your cellular structure are untied, and the cells say, "We hear you, Commander. What do we need to do?" The key to self-sufficiency. Self-sufficiency is a program. It's a program. Its information is drawn from experience and what you have learned. You can reprogram it. All you have to do is tell yourself what you want. You can say, "Dear cellular structure, I deserve to be here. This is my time. I have what others want. This is my time. I am important to the Earth scheme. I have earned my stripes. This is my time." Dear cellular structure, get rid of the inappropriate emotional problems that are holding me back from moving forward to my beauty and power. The power I speak of is the ability to create compassion and light wherever I go. The cellular structure will smile, reach out its long-awaited hand to you and say, "We are your partner in this co-creation. Let's get started." Uncomfortable? Rebalancing. Its attributes promise to be alluring and beautiful. Will you like to suddenly become more enlightened or suddenly feel more informed? You will feel much more that you are a particle of God, with a cold, Kryon's smile. Falling from time to time, but you should laugh. Biology, that's its way. It will take some time to shift, months, maybe more. So as you face the challenges of rebalancing and discomfort, know why it is happening. But at the same time, celebrate what is emerging in you, and that is more compassion. It is what is beginning to work in your life. Things will get better. Free will in the whole picture. It all depends now on how you receive this message, how you relate to it, and how you manifest it. In other words, your free will choice determines what will happen. If you ignore the message, very little will happen. You are still an old soul, and you have free will. And finally, I give you one of the common questions about rebalancing. Kryon, you say that the Earth's energy is shifting. Does that mean that all of humanity will feel it? Correct? Yes, all of humanity will feel it. You will see this in the way governments are dismantled and reformed. You will see it in new ways of thinking. You will see it in what my partner has told you about as a possibility, what I have communicated in my channelings in the past, a different way of thinking. Regimes that were supported by the old energy will not be updated, but will decide to change. Societies that have existed in a certain way for the past 1,000 years will suddenly decide to change. Over the next 2 generations, cooperation and unification will begin to become the norm. There will come a time when you will look back at today and say, "We were barbarians. This is the change," about deadlines in the future. I am in the now on my side of the veil. I do not have the clocks to give you deadlines. I am simply telling you what I see. I see a planet finally healed with a new science. I see a planet where there are no chronic diseases, where there are never problems with clean water. Never. I see a time when all people have electricity easily and inexpensively obtained, when your homes are easily and well heated. All of this is in the strongest potentials in the quantum soup of manifestation, but I cannot give you exact deadlines, and I can tell you that the Earth itself is rebalancing, and this portends problems. Some of these will be political in nature, and some things will get worse in the attributes of rebalancing, and the Earth will feel it. Will everyone become enlightened? No. You represent less than 0.5% of the population, old soul, and you are going to light your little fire in the darkness. We've talked about this before. You've become a bringer of your fire into the darkness because a little light allows everyone to see better. This is your job, only now this job has become easier. I speak in the now. I cannot give you deadlines. Please understand the wisdom of this as you leave this hall. Look at the potentials, not the news of the day. And if something does not happen tomorrow in your rapidly unfolding consciousness, human being, do not be angry. God has patience, you have patience. Is it not worth it after living all these lives to come to the present time and give it a chance? There are those in this room who are interested in how long they will live, in light of what is happening right now. You know who I am talking to. And here is what I will tell you. I see the potential for a very long life. As long as there are still those who can tell me, yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. No matter what I talk about, some people will find a reason why it can't work. These are the old energies talking to you. Rebalance yourself. Start to see that it is possible and make it so. And finally, here's what it's all about. The more science looks into very small atomic structures and then looks at the very large universe, the more it begins to understand their commonality. Your science is beginning to understand that there is no randomness in what looks random in 3D. On the contrary, it notices the presence of an intelligent design. This means that what you call creation, the way everything was created, was predisposed to life, predisposed to compassion. What you see is the work of God. It is no longer possible to deny the existence of a creator. As soon as you turn inward and take care of yourself, I want you to see the same thing inside yourself. It is almost time to understand that you are not random. Your life is not random. What happens to you is not accidental. It happens to you the way you intended it to. There is a system here, and it can be directed and programmed and reprogrammed. This is manifestation. Ultimately, this is the lesson of all humanity: to create a healed earth, to create a peaceful earth, to reach a place you never even dreamed of, perfected and healthy. This is the beginning. I have no clocks, but I see the strongest potentials, the ones I am giving you today, while my partner is in the chair in front of you. The possibilities we see are greater than they were last year. If the lightworkers can easily go through the rebalancing, they will be able to speed up this process. Don't resist it. So as you leave this place and life returns to normal and routine is routine, you could look back on these few minutes we spent together and say, I wish I could do all of this. You are so easily inclined to slip back into the old energy, not fully realizing who you are. That's why rebalancing is necessary, so you won't think exactly that way. What happens in the multidimensional state must be done in consciousness outside of time and space. Simply walking on this planet, holding the light, creates an energy that you didn't know you had. That's why we want you to stay healthy, without drama or fear. Those who think they are not doing anything for the planet are in a black and white world, even though they color everything around them. Well, set a goal if you want, because people love to do that. But let me tell you this, many of you have already achieved change, simply by being alive and having compassion for those around you. Some of those in this room are teachers, some are channelers, and some are healers. Some are not interested in what is happening, and I know who they are, and this message is not for everyone. You are at a crossroads of potentials, which is why I came here. That's why Kryon is here, to help you cross that bridge. Congratulations on coming so far. The old energy will resist, dear ones. Expect it, but now is the time to count on victory. And you will. For now, in 2012, the light workers are beginning to take over. In other words, the light is visible, and the seeds that were planted so many years ago are beginning to reap.